What would it take to zero Baba TC Ataturk at 1.26 billion power and over $2 million spent in Rise of Kingdoms? His account is absolutely monster. So, can he be zeroed? Oh, and let me tell you about the time that I nearly got zeroed playing War and Order, who is the sponsor of this video. This is the video replay where I'm in blue and the attacker is red and he's trying to zero my city. This is in War and Order, the sponsor of today's video. This is a game that I have really enjoyed playing. It's free to play, and thankfully, in this particular instance, because I have really high hospital capacity, even though I completely lose this particular attack, I was able to put on a peace shield, heal up my troops, and I was okay. In fact, not only that, but if I go to my city, I can show you that this is my hospital. Not only do I have a section for my troops, none of which are wounded right now, but if my city is attacked like it just was, then I have this here sanctuary, which takes all of the overflow of troops. About 2/3 go into here, and 1/3 of overflow from my hospital actually dies. But fear not, because when your troops die, they turn into angel dust, the critical material to make the most powerful unit in the game, angels, which is pretty cool. If you want to join me in this city building war game where, yes, you can get zeroed if you're not paying attention, but things do really benefit the defender, then consider using the link in the description to download the game, and you can play with me in Realm 1492. In fact, our alliance is now the rank 1 alliance by power, which is pretty freaking sweet, and we just took the crown. This is the equivalent of the Lost Temple in Rise of Kingdoms. We've got our alliance leader as now the king of the kingdom, and no, that alliance leader is not me. You think I can lead alliances in a million games? Heck no! We've got great alliance leadership here, multiple alliances that you could join in 1492. Link is in the description, and thank you to War and Order for sponsoring this video. And I wanted to get a look at what it would actually take to zero Baba, because he is in an enemy war camp. I am in KVK right now with Baba TC Ataturk, and he is on the opposing side. He is now in Kingdom 556, and we are fighting against them in this KVK. So, can he be zeroed? I'm going to actually look at this a couple ways. First of all, I'm going to talk about the technology that makes this even possible and the commanders you would use. Then I'm going to show you a video of Baba getting rallied, in fact, maybe even a couple, to showcase situations where he's been rallied in the past and exactly how much damage the people that he was fighting against took in the process. And yes, it is probably about as savage as you might expect. And then we'll just put it all together to put the total cost together for the number of troops it would take to slay, to zero, Baba TC Ataturk. Now, first of all, I want to remind you that if Baba was online, there's absolutely no chance you can zero a player of that power. It's simply not possible unless they let you do it. So you'd have to catch Baba offline, and if you assume that he's got a really great garrison, which we know he has a very strong city garrison, and good equipment on, the only thing that makes it even remotely conceivable to zero him, even if he's offline, is the Season of Conquest KVK technology, specifically the Marching Orders technology that increases the number of troops in your rally. This is a big, huge deal. Now, why is that the case? When I last made a video of zeroing a player of this size, it was about Maverick, and I was entering KVK with him before I'd ever experienced just how insane this KVK technology is. And I looked at a report of a player getting rallied that was 200 million power, and the trades were just disgustingly in favor of the city. But that was before. You could increase your rally capacity by about 1 million troops, and this is game-changing because there's something weird about the mechanics of defending a very high-power city where only so many of your troops actually fight at any moment in time. And so although Baba has 120 million T5s, maybe slightly less than that, only a small portion of those will fight, except you do a huge amount of skill damage. The skill damage actually scales up. So the reason that cities became very vulnerable is that you get so much closer to that kind of critical threshold of the number of troops that actually participate with a rally that has the extra capacity from the KVK technology. And The thing is that there is reinforcement technology as well. But the problem is that chances are if a player's getting zeroed, they're not really getting reinforced. They're probably very out of position. People can't get to them. I mean, to work down a player of Baba's size, I would estimate that it would take in the realm of 3+ hours probably worth of just rallying and reinforcing, and you'd need many, many rallies to get it done. So for that to even be considerable at all, Baba would have to be offline in a position with his account that is unreachable in any way by his own kingdom members. Otherwise, it gets completely out of hand. But in order to better understand exactly how much damage Baba's city can do, why don't we go watch some footage of his city getting rallied? This is relatively recent footage on Baba's own YouTube channel where he shows his city getting rallied. He's getting rallied. That's not actual. Oh, it says Godfather, not Goodfather. I was so confused. This looks like it's an archer rally on his city. Presumably the archer rally is full, but we'll get a look at the reports in just a minute. And the thing I really want you to look at is the skill damage. At this moment in time, Baba is still sitting at 1 billion power, which is absolutely insane. So here comes the rally. He's got a Jadwiga. Somebody is swarming his city, which is absolutely nuts. And it looks like a Ramses primary. Now look at this skill damage that is going to be dealt by Baba. How much skill damage? 550,000, followed by 640,000. You see, the skill damage you deal scales up with the number of troops you have, even though the normal attack and counterattack damage, for whatever reason, doesn't. Now, Baba has a 10% token in this video. He's got a top-tier rune, and this report is disgusting. 294,000 sevs for Baba and 2 million dead troops in the rally. That is absolutely disgusting. I'm not going to claim that this was the best rally in the world that you could have used on Baba. In fact, I will point out that although the Belisarius support skill, this is in Heroic Anthem KVK, the Belisarius support skill is very good. However, it's really bad in this situation where your opponent is never getting below 50%. It's Baba. It's an unsupported rally. That was never going to work, right? So there's almost certainly some opportunities here to level things up with the support skills chosen, but it's still really helpful to us to kind of understand the insanity of trying to take down Baba and zero his city. And that's when he's only got, by the way, 1 billion power. He currently has 1.26 billion power. So if you were going to rally Baba TC Ataturk, what commander combination would you even use? And that's kind of an interesting question. I really want to put a lot more thought into this one, but I have to think that you're using commanders like XY and Nevsky. XY for city rallies just seems way too strong to pass up on. I also feel like Gilgamesh and Nebu is a really strong combo. So you might tank with the Gilgamesh Nebu because archers are kind of worthless anyways. Who minds just losing those? But also, it's very important for Nebu that he's taking damage. He does a counterattack damage boost, and when he takes damage, he dishes some back out. So that needs to be the tank, and then you'd use XY Nevsky as a source of damage and debuffs. Also, the Gilga debuffs and the Gilga Nebu combo on the city. That's some good debuffs going on there. And then I don't even know what your final rally would be. Like, I kind of want to work in a Tommy, but it's not like we're going to rally a city with Edward and Tommy. I mean, I guess you could do Honda, Tadakatsu, and Tommy. I just don't know that that's actually all that amazing, quite frankly. The answer could just be send another XY rally at it, and that might actually just be the best play. The last commander I want to mention as actually being maybe deceptively good for rallying a city is going to be Mehmed. Remember, I told you the number of troops that you use to rally one of these cities is really critical, and you get extra rallied army capacity. This is a bigger deal than people give it credit for. Mehmed tagged on to one of these rallies could be an important way to trade even more positive, given that we know how insane it will be to take down Baba City and how much skill damage he will deal. Now, the secret, as I described, for a high power player to sort of defend themselves here is lots of skill damage. So if you were in Baba's position defending your city, I would think maybe Zeno primary, maybe because she's just so strong against some of the Cavs. And then you would use YSG secondary because you want to make sure that no matter what angle these rallies are coming at you from, you just want to blow them up, baby. You want to just shred them. And I think the Isong's skill damage might be one of the better ways to do this. Arguably, you could make a case that like Theodora is just better for that. Fair enough. She doesn't boost your skill damage, but she boosts your all damage. That will achieve more skill damage as well, obviously. So maybe Theo is the better play. Theo Isong, is that the way you just do tons of damage to all the rallies? I mean, you'll be a little bit squishy that way, but God, that just seems like a ridiculous city defense. And for what it's worth, the reason I only mentioned 3 rally combinations is I can't even fathom having enough kingdoms, enough players all together to actually keep more than 3 rallies full for the duration of this zeroing on Baba. Because as you saw, I mean, it was a negative 10 for 1 trade against the ralliers in that very short clip with the unsupported rally on Baba's city. But also they rage loaded Baba a little bit. It was kind of weird. So what would it actually take, Chisgule? Well, if he has 110 million troops, let's just call it 110 million T5 troops for simplicity's sake. I mean, if you thought that you were going to average a 1-for-1 trade on Baba, then you're looking at 110 million troops of yours, your alliance, your kingdom, that are going to die. That's a lot. That's 1.1 billion power worth of T5s, because presumably Baba's all T5. But chances are you're going to do worse than a 1-to-1 trade, aren't you? Chances are you're looking at more like a 1-to-2 or 1-to-3 trade in Baba's favor, because he's just too high power at the start of all of this. And if that's the case, then what you're really looking at to take down Baba's 110 million T5s is more like 330 million of your T5s. That's 3.3 billion power. Okay? That's like taking my alliance. Okay? That's like taking Wolf and saying like, yeah, just to try to zero Baba, you're going to lose 3 billion power. We're gonna knock you down to being a 10 billion power alliance. Like, that's an insane. One man can single-handedly, if you tried to zero him, neutralize an end game alliance worth of players. A top tier alliance worth of players. This is just insane. That is the insanity of trying to take down a player like Baba. And if you traded any worse than 3-for-1 in Baba's favor, now we've got even bigger problems, right? Can you imagine if it ended up being like 5-for-1 trades in Baba's favor, like 550 million T5s to try to take him down? It's too much. Am I thinking about this wrong? The reality is that the start of the fights against Baba until he's down to like 200 or 300 million power, you're going to take garbagey trades, like really, really, really bad. And then you'll start doing really good when he gets lower. And as long as he's using area of effect damage, then like all the rallies are just going to get completely wrecked. If he doesn't use area of effect damage, you actually have a chance to have one of those side rallies actually go positive. And realistically, you'd better hope if you're trying to zero Baba that he's got on no equipment, that he doesn't have his garrison commanders actually on his garrison, and that if it's a support skill KVK, that he has the wrong support skills. Because I think any other way, and the losses are honestly so savage that it's not even worth attempting. As it stands, Baba's got 23 billion kill points. I don't know how many we'd be feeding him trying to zero his city, but he's also got 145 million dead troops. So over 1 billion power worth of dead troops just sitting here as well. I mean, leave your comments down below for the amount of troops you think Baba is going to lose in this KVK. How many millions of T5 troops is he going to lose? I expect it might be north of 40 million T5 troops. So he'd lose 400 million power. But even that is a pretty steep commitment to any one KVK. Let's be real. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. What rally combinations would you use? How many dead troops do you think Baba is going to get in this KVK? And perhaps more importantly, what do you think the trade ratio would actually be to try to zero Baba? If you're looking for more videos about taking down insane players, check out my video I made about zeroing Maverick. And until next time, You have fun smashing the kingdom.